Not the strongest, not the fastest. Yet the African wild dog is one of the most brutally efficient hunters in the natural world. They take turns relentlessly pursuing, constantly rotating positions, and methodically isolating their target from the herd. One applies the pressure, the others seal off every escape route. The exact second the prey loses its rhythm, the entire pack ruthlessly capitalizes on the opportunity. Weighing merely 40 to 80 pounds, 18 to 36 kilos each. What they lack in sheer size, they completely compensate for with near-perfect, flawless coordination. And it is precisely during their antelope hunts that the tactical brilliance of these infamous predators is most vividly displayed. In the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve, South Africa, 6 wild dogs are flawlessly coordinating to hunt a young antelope. Even as the desperate prey plunges into the water, hoping to shake off its pursuers, the wild dog pack absolutely refuses to halt.
Chase it.
One individual instantly dives in after it, clamping its jaws securely onto the antelope's ear to aggressively subdue it. As the young antelope is violently dragged back to the shore, any remaining sliver of survival vanishes completely. For any predator, the wildebeest is a profoundly perilous target. A fully grown adult can weigh well over 550 pounds, 250 kilos, armed with a pair of curved horns, more than capable of inflicting lethal injuries upon any predator that gets too close. Not only that, with a blistering top speed of nearly 31 meters and 50 km, the wildebeest can push a predator to the absolute limit of its physical endurance. There have even been documented cases of lions suffering violent seizures following such grueling pursuits. Across the withered savanna, the wild dog pack initiates a wildebeest hunt. A highly experienced matriarch dictates the prey's trajectory, while the other members systematically take turns leading the charge to sustain the crushing pressure. Boasting the incredible ability to maintain high speeds over vast distances, the wild dogs weaponize their unmatched stamina to utterly exhaust their prey. Every time the wildebeest attempts to veer back toward the safety of the herd, the flankers instantly close in to violently cut it off. They surgically target the legs, disrupting its running rhythm and methodically neutralizing its ability to escape. After roughly 20 minutes of relentless, agonizing pursuit, the wildebeest completely loses the strength to maintain its pace. Even the leopard, a heavily muscled and highly seasoned predator, can easily be violently overwhelmed when forced to face an entire pack of wild dogs. And the lion is absolutely no exception to this brutal rule. When holding the ultimate advantage in numbers, the wild dog doesn't hesitate to confront the king of the savanna directly. Piercing, deafening vocalizations combined with relentless, coordinated lunges completely fracture the adversary's attention. Utterly incapable of launching a counterattack against a single fixed target, the lion slowly loses control of the situation and is humiliatingly forced to abandon the territory. In the wild, true power is not merely forged in fangs and claws, but in the unbreakable bond of the collective. The African wild dog is legendary for its fierce teamwork and the profound, enduring bonds between its members. At the edge of a muddy swamp, a wild dog is suddenly ambushed by a crocodile. The bite force of a Nile crocodile can exceed a terrifying 5,000 psi, making it a highly lethal apex predator that strikes fear into the hearts of countless species. But rather than fleeing in terror, the remaining members desperately attempt to drag their fallen comrade straight out of the crocodile's jaws. Under the relentless, overwhelming pressure from the pack, the trapped wild dog miraculously secures a chance to successfully escape the predator's grip. Wild dogs and hyenas are bitter rivals that clash constantly across the African savanna. Although they do not view hyenas as prey, wild dogs are fiercely prepared to attack to protect their pack members and reclaim stolen kills. A heavily pregnant hyena attempts to scavenge a meal from a wild dog pack, but instantly meets a vicious, explosive reaction. Completely surrounded with absolutely no way to retreat, the hyena desperately fights back, while frantically attempting to shield her vulnerable belly and parry the relentless strikes coming from behind. A spotted hyena's pregnancy lasts roughly 110 to 120 days, meaning a prolonged, grueling confrontation poses an immense catastrophic risk to both the mother and her unborn cubs. A male lion suddenly materializes, forcing the wild dog pack to rapidly change their focus, allowing the hyena to make a miraculous, instantaneous escape. A fully grown warthog can weigh anywhere from 150 to 250 pounds, 68 to 113 course at typically seeking refuge in abandoned burrows. But even this sanctuary is not always safe. Razor-sharp teeth allow individual dogs to latch tightly onto their prey, but it is the flawlessly coordinated combined pulling force of multiple pack members that methodically shatters the defenses. The warthog desperately attempts to break the siege continuously and violently changing direction in search of a fleeting gap. However, crushing pressure from all sides makes it impossible for the prey to maintain its speed or retreat to its burrow. Once the warthog is brutally locked within the hunting formation, every single avenue of escape completely vanishes. The African buffalo is a towering living fortress upon the savanna, boasting a massive frame weighing hundreds of kilograms, deadly curved horns, and a ferocious instinct to fiercely protect their kin. They force even lions to exercise extreme caution when approaching. A direct head-on confrontation is an immensely perilous choice. But wild dogs do not seek to defeat that overwhelming raw power. They seek to surgically separate a single individual from the herd.
The cow's just giving birth.
No.
As the buffalo herd wheels around to mount a massive rescue, a squad of wild dogs instantly pivots to aggressively harass them, violently forcing the reinforcement formation to scatter in chaos. The remaining pack members relentlessly pin down their target, denying it any chance to return to the herd. Very rapidly, the massive prey collapses to the earth, becoming the predator's next hard-earned feast. When violently backed into a corner, absolute composure is sometimes the only chance of survival. Relentlessly pursued by a wild dog pack, a klipspringer family rapidly selects a sheer, jagged granite outcrop as their ultimate safe haven. Rather than fleeing in a blind panic, they stand virtually motionless, flawlessly maintaining their balance, and simply waiting. Klipspringers can stand perfectly on the very tips of their hooves thanks to a rubbery core and a hard outer rim, allowing them to grip incredibly tiny, precarious rock edges with absolute certainty. After multiple highly frustrating failed attempts to reach them, the wild dog pack slowly loses patience and ultimately abandons the hunt. Every single hunt orchestrated by the African wild dog is living proof that in the unforgiving natural world, absolutely no one can survive entirely alone. Uncompromising coordination, absolute trust, and fierce teamwork have forged them into one of the most remarkably successful hunters on the planet. Yet out in the wild, it is precisely this extraordinary species that now desperately needs to be protected. If the great savannas vanish, and if their prey populations continue to catastrophically decline, it will not just be the wild dog that loses its future. The ancient, delicate balance of the entire African ecosystem will be permanently shattered.
Woohoo!